Chapter 184. First meeting with the Empress of Gre, Wu Liangqianzun, Empress Gift Sword. Nephew. It's been a while. Lu Yunzi's majestic phoenix eyes looked at Lin Shiwan, revealing a hint of amusement. However, after all this time, how come your heart has become so ruthless? This is not like you. Upon hearing the Empress of Gre Zhao's words, a surge of rage engulfed Lin Shiwan's chest. Rach, you murdered my father, slaughtered more than 1,000 of my royal family, who is actually the ruthless one. Impudence. An official from the court of heaven at the side scolded him, clearly dissatisfied with Lin Shiwan's attitude. Lu Yunzi motioned reassuringly for them to relax, 9 crowns on her head, her eyebrows like paintings. Even though she looked like a woman, but did not look old, about the age of 28 or so. Tall, her long imperial robe trailing on the ground, but exuding a sense of cold arrogance. Although she looked slightly mature, despite her appearance looking young, her actual age was far more than 20. This was Han Ye's first time seeing the highest ruler of the Great Zhou dynasty, the Empress of Great Zhou. Before, she was just a distant figure introduced in the background. The emperor was high-end far-reaching, not caring about Langlang Village or the Dragon Sparrow sect. But now, the Empress of Great Zhou was right in front of him, making him take a closer look. Lu Yunzi naturally noticed the handsome man in white in front of her. Her eyes revealed a touch of admiration. Han Ye's ability to turn the tide and shock the capital city with his sword earlier was naturally etched in her sight. Such a great talent in swordsmanship, she wondered which power he belonged to. If she could recruit him, it would definitely be of great benefit to her. Scum of Lu family, I'll make you pay for 1,000 souls of my royal family. Lin Shiwan shouted, his body shrouded in a shadow of a black Jiaolong, roaring incessantly, as if aiming directly at the vital parts. Lu Yunzi shook her head slightly. I've said it before. Under my reign, all 24 provinces of Great Zhou have been peaceful and prosperous. 10 years ago, the previous emperor died due to sickness. Many coveted the throne. It was your father who left behind the issue of the northern Great Wall. If it weren't for me, the whole of Great Zhou would have been overthrown by the rebellious army long ago. You're far in the fief, easily manipulated by those with ulterior motives. What you want to hear is only what others let you hear. However, Lin Shiwan did not want to hear her explanation, and charged forward directly. Yet, a middle-aged man in a white robe beside Lu Yunzi, with a detached expression, pointed a finger at the black Jiaolong. Quoch! In an instant, the black demon Che dissipated. The Jiaolong instantly melted, turning into a pile of green smoke. Not only that, the golden dragon descending from the sky, centered on the middle-aged man in the white robe, spread towards the distance. Soon all the demon clouds within 100 miles receded, revealing the stars and the moon, adorning the night sky. Those cultivators whose sea of consciousness had been occupied by grudges, and were corroded by demon Che saw the golden light and quickly returned to normal. The middle-aged man in the white robe swiftly made his move. His fingers formed a claw. Using his magic power, he tried to subdue Lin Shiwan, intending to pull out his heart and crush it, to kill him completely. His speed was very quick, however. Another large hand covered in black hair appeared in the void, not slower at all, quickly repelling him. A hawk-eyed old man with a blood crow on his shoulder stood 100 feet away, his eyes showing a cold expression, his right hand gesturing a point, and with a whoosh, his magic power turned into a blood crow, turning into a stream of light, flying towards the man in the long gown. Thump! The solid blood crow radiated a light as bright as a lightning meteor, making a piercing sound, causing the heavenly earthly spiritual Che to wildly fluctuate. Han Yi saw this strike and found it very familiar. Not only had he encountered it during the North Sea Dragon King incident, but also in the Golden Cicada secret realm. Bloodthirsty heavenly meteor contemplation. Almost instantaneously, Han Yi thought of which contemplation diagram it was. The identity of the old man was also obvious. The former demon envoy of the Baiqia demon sect, Yan Ding. It appeared that this body was also one of his avatars. From what he knew, the bloodthirsty heavenly meteor contemplation practiced was a technique for saving one's life. It could create many bloodthirsty avatars, each of which was like an individual entity, capable of providing progress in cultivation for the main body. Even when the main body died, it could seize the avatar. Even among the 24 contemplation diagrams, It was considered a first-class divine tower. Lin Shiwan, having suffered a severe blow from the previous strike, would have perished if not for the protection from the ancient infernal demonic staff. At this moment, his lips become pale, trembling as he sends a telepathic message, Senior, help me get my revenge. At this moment, Yang Ding's face was as stern as iron, intently staring at the robed middle-aged man beside the Empress of Great Zhou, before shaking his head and belting out a command. This man is not easy to deal with. It's best that we retreat. If he were to rashly attack, not only will he abandon the demonic sect army here, but he would also be delayed by the Daoist. In the end, he might not be able to escape, losing a body clone in the process, and leaving behind 7 evil sect masters' beloved apprentice. The future cooperation between the demonic sect and the demonic cult would surely be affected. With a sweep of his sleeve, he sucked Lin Shiwan and many other disciples of the demonic sect into a scroll, before taking off into the sky towards the dark clouds above. The robed middle-aged man remained by the Empress of the Great Zhou, with no intention of chasing them. Seeing this predicament, Han Yi couldn't resist making a comment, a gutsy empress. Despite how much Lin Shiwan tried to argue, the calm and dominant Li Yunzi impressed him greatly. Bai Kaifu flew over to Han Yi. Upon hearing his words, she sighed, blinked her beautiful eyes, and explained, "It's well known that the Empress initially entered the palace as a beauty through a town competition. Using her political acumen, she became the Empress of the Great Zhou. As the previous emperor was weak and sickly, she had to administer the government from behind the scenes. After the emperor died unexpectedly, the demon race from the northern Great Wall took advantage of the chaos and invaded Central Earth, with wars breaking out across the country. Under the protection of a hidden influential person from the Immortal Gate, she was able to ascend the throne and become the Empress of Great Zhou. Afterwards, she arranged troops and made strategic decisions, demonstrating remarkable military talent. After the war, she gained the support of the people of Great Zhou, securing her position as the Empress. The Empress of Great Zhou, sweeping across territories, initiating an era of peace, and winning the people's hearts are 12 words that are enshrined in statues by the people of Great Zhou. Can you believe that you didn't know this?" Han Yi shook his head. "I had heard about it, but didn't know the details." He had always been in Langlang Village without any access to such information. Even in Dragon Sparrow Sect's scripture hall, the topic of the Empress Ascension was briefly mentioned, which he thought was a minor matter the humans had and not of great importance. The only knowledge he had of the Empress of the Great Zhou came from Lin Shiwan. Having heard Bai Kaifu's explanation, he now had a much clearer picture. This Empress was able to assume the throne, thanks in large part to the support of Wu Liangqie. As the leader of the 9 Great Immortal Gates, Wu Liangqie, with its ancient lineage, boasts a history of over 100,000 years. During the ancient era, it had produced a heaven-honored one, who dominated an entire era. What is a heaven-honored one? In the ancient era, in the entire cultivator world, only one person emerges each Yuan meeting. Considered as the common lord of the immortals, a reigning heaven-honored one, a Yuan meeting lasts for 129,600 years. A heaven-honored one signifies the supreme being, invincible in the 120,000 plus years. The eternal existence of Wuliang Immortal Gate is referred to as Wuliang Heaven-Honored One. Thank you for lending me the sword. Only after a long while did Han Yi recall that he had borrowed the immortal sword Cold Waterfall yet not returned it. To be honest, that immortal sword really suited him, and he rather liked it. But it was ultimately someone else's possession, and he could not forcibly take it. The other party is right in front of him now, most likely wanting to ask for it back but just didn't know how to bring it up. You're welcome. The sword truly unleashed its utmost power in your hands. Bai Kaifu was still amazed by Han Yi's unrivaled sword intent. Resting her cold and majesty eyes on Han Yi, Li Yunzi revealed a hint of gentleness and spoke sincerely. If you do not have a suitable magic treasure, feel free to claim a sword from the National Treasury as our gratitude for assisting us. Han Yi was quite surprised. He didn't expect the Empress of Great Zhou to be so courteous, even proactively offering him a sword. Could she be showing a bit too much favor? Another chapter coming later today.